Last time, ang diniscuss natin or we started discussing time dependent na perturbations. So tinignan natin kung anong kalalabasan pag yung perturbation ay merong time dependence. Naturally, ginamit natin yung Schrödinger's time dependent na equation. Nakita natin na yung probability ay also time dependent, and in some cases meron din siyang oscillatory na behavior. Okay? Ang tawag dito. Nung nung ginawa nating example, yung perturbation na kung saan meron tayong electromagnetic field. Okay? Ang ginawa nating example specifically is that nag-introduce tayo ng electromagnetic field, pero describe natin yung electromagnetic field using the electric field vector only. Okay? And alam naman natin na ang electric field vector ay magnetic field vector ay perpendicular sa electric field, and you can get yung propagation using yung tinatawag na Poynting vector. Tama? Okay. So, salamat sa response. Okay, yun. Kahit na electric field lang ang perturbation, it means na electromagnetic field actually yung nagpa-perturb sa system, which means light yung nagpa-perturb sa system. And if we apply that perturbation dun sa ating equation, makikita natin na tawag dito, nagkakaroon ng transitions between two levels. Okay? So may probability of transition from A to B, and then probability of transition from B to A, where A is the lower level and B is the higher level. Yung transition from A to B ay tinatawag natin na absorption. Okay, and yung transition from B to A ay tinatawag natin na either spontaneous emission or stimulated na emission. Okay, so yun yung diniscuss natin last time, and then of course we were able to derive yung mga equations, okay, pertaining dun sa ano na yun, sa transitions na yun. Equations that describe yung probability, okay, nung transitions na yun. Isa rin sa mga natutunan natin last time ay yung concept ng stimulated emission. Kaya nakita natin na if we populate yung higher energy level, okay, ang concept na yun ay tinatawag na population inversion. You populate it with a lot of particles, a lot of electrons. Okay, it should be easy to stimulate yung emission by simply applying a perturbation dun sa system. Okay, and then isang perturbation lang, pwedeng dalawang photon yung ma-emit, and yung dalawang photon na yun as a result, okay, will also perturb the higher energy electron states, and ano naman siya ng apat na electrons and so on and so forth. So merong amplification na nangyari, and yun yung concept ng light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, or yung tinatawag natin na laser. Okay, so we'll start there sa probability ng transition. Okay, so if you recall, yung probability ng transition from B to A, okay, sa function of time ay equal sa alpha E naught H bar squared sine squared omega naught minus omega T over 2 divided by omega naught minus omega squared. Okay? Ngayon yung alpha na ito, okay, ay ginamit lang natin for convenience. Hindi nyo makikita yun sa book. Kasi ang makikita nyo sa book ay yung maarting letter P. Yan, parang ganyan. Mukha bang P yan? Okay, so anyway. Yung alpha na yan is actually equal to the expectation value of psi b Z psi A and then multiplied by Q. Okay, now bakit ganyan yung expression? Of course, yung psi B tsaka psi A describes yung states, okay, dun sa B level at tsaka sa A level. And Z yan kasi yung electric field natin ay pinoint natin, kung nalala nyo yung perturbation, okay, ay nasa Z, Z-axis. Okay? So yung alpha na yan is related to the probability density. It's also related to the tawag dito, to the perturbation, okay, through this equation, negative alpha E naught. So yan yung ating perturbation. Okay, and tawag dito, at yan ay directed along the Z direction. Okay, now, of course, dito nakita natin na magkakaroon tayo ng stimulation or stimulated emission or spontaneous emission kapag yung incident na wave, yung frequency ng incident na wave ay pareho dun sa stimulated na wave. Okay, or spontaneously emitted na wave. Okay, but in reality, okay, so yun yung case na monochromatic, ibig sabihin isa lang yung wavelength. Okay? Pero in reality, hindi ka naman talaga nagpapatama na sa isang material ng monochromatic. I mean, in reality, kahit sabihin mo monochromatic yan, meron pa rin siyang maliit na spread, meron pa rin siyang maliit na error. Di ba? Pero to generalize, syempre, i-consider natin lahat ng mga frequencies. Okay? At titignan natin kung ano yung magiging effect. So now we're considering perturbations na may wavelengths na tawag dito, hindi in resonance, okay, with the energy levels, okay? Or mga incoherent na perturbations. So incoherent. So in general, yung energy density is related to E squared. Okay, alam nyo na yan from 102, 171, 172. Pag hindi nyo alam yan, ibig sabihin nakalimutan nyo na. May lumalabas ba na lamig? Kasi hindi ko pa nararamdaman. Okay. So pwede nating incorporate yung ano na yan, yung tawag dito, yung energy density dun sa ating probability tawag dito, equation. So P B to A T, okay? So yung E naught squared ay yun yung ipapasok natin dun sa equation dito. So and then yung E naught squared, tapos ito yung E naught squared. So yun yung lalagay natin dyan. Mangyayari dyan ngayon is 2U epsilon naught H bar squared. Okay, and then alpha squared. Okay, tapos sine squared omega naught minus omega E over 2 all over omega naught minus omega squared. Okay, this is still for monochromatic na wave. So kung gusto nating i-consider lahat ng frequencies, syempre i-integrate natin, okay, i-add up natin lahat ng mga probabilities, okay, which means na i-integrate natin yung lahat ng mga tawag dito, integrate natin itong probability densities over all the wavelengths. Okay? Okay. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, so itong energy density, we do that using the energy density. So yung energy density ay i-express natin in terms of yung in terms of this expression. Okay, so that's the energy density in the frequency range d omega. Okay. So, mangyayari dito ngayon is that yung P, yung probability density from B to A is equal to 2U epsilon naught H bar squared. Okay, and then alpha squared. And then yung U nga, papalitan natin ng rho omega. So, sine squared omega naught minus omega T over 2 all over omega naught minus omega squared. Okay, integrate natin from 0 to infinity ng D over D omega. Okay. Now, pinag-aralan na natin tong graph na ito, tong behavior na ito sa last video. Okay. And if you recall, yung graph niyan, okay, nung probability density, okay, as a function of omega, so omega yung ano, yung x-axis ninyo, ay ganito yung itsura. So may sharp peak dun sa omega naught, and then may mga oscillatory na peaks. Okay? So yun yung nakita natin last. Yun yung tinignan natin last time. Okay? So, yes. So, and ang isa sa mga assumptions na ginamit natin before, if you recall, okay, is when omega naught plus omega is very much greater than omega naught minus omega, which means na yung range of validity lang niya is nandito lang sa ano, okay, sa region Okay, and if we consider that, reasoning, pwede natin ngayon ilabas yung P omega, okay, by replacing omega with omega naught. So alpha squared, so P omega naught, okay, from 0 to infinity ng sine squared omega naught minus omega t over 2 over omega naught minus omega squared d d omega, okay, which makes it easier for us to integrate. So kung naalala nyo rin, okay, from integral from negative infinity to infinity ng sine squared x over x squared dx ay equal sa pi. Alamang hindi nyo yan naalala. Dami kayong hindi naalala, no? Okay. Okay. So, we can apply this integration. Okay, kahit na yung integral natin is yung integral ng function na gusto nating integrate is from 0 to infinity, we can still apply this expression. Kasi first of all, yung behavior nga niya is symmetric about about omega naught. Diba? Okay, so and then towards infinity, nagsi-zero naman siya. So actually hindi nagma-matter very far away from far from omega naught. Okay, so ang point is whether you use this or this, it's still valid. Okay, so upon integration, okay, upon applying the formula, then we have an expression which involves only sandali. Bakit may U dito? Wala dapat U dyan. Kasi pinalitan nga natin yung U ng So, pi alpha squared over epsilon naught h bar squared rho omega naught, and then, hey, so nakikita mo ba, Christian? Anong nangyari? From a sinusoidally varying function, okay, nagkaroon tayo ng isang probability na linear in time. So, anong tawag dito? Wala na yung ano niya, yung oscillatory na behavior. Okay, so nangyayari is tawag dito, yung probability niya ay tumataas habang nag-extend yung time. Now, this expression here, okay, yung proportionality constant between yung probability, transition probability, at saka yung time, okay, ay tinatawag na transition rate. Okay? May sense naman yan, di ba? Kasi probability, transition rate, and then time, di ba? Transition rate is kung gaano kabilis yung tawag dito, nagkakaroon ng transition. Okay? So, yung transition rate na yan, okay, describes, saan yung eraser dito? Ay, nagla sa taas. Yung transition rate na yan, of course, describes kung gaano katagal, kung gaano kabilis yung transition, okay, between yung two states. Okay? So, pwede natin siyang isulat as R from B to A, okay, equals a pi over epsilon naught h bar squared, then alpha squared, then rho omega naught. Okay, now even though yung gumamit tayo ng energy density that applies to generally to all types of tawag dito. Gumamit tayo ng energy density expression, okay? Yung tawag dito, yung polarization nito is still in the z direction kasi nasa E. Yung electric field nyo ay nasa z direction pa rin. So, yung alpha dito, kung naalala nyo ay sinulat natin dito yung alpha. So yan yung alpha. Okay, it's still in the z direction. So if you want to generalize that, papalitan natin yung alpha na yan to include yung directions along the x, y, tsaka sa z. So what we're going to do is instead of just writing alpha in terms of z, so we're going to write alpha in terms of yung vector na r. Okay, so ito, tawag dito. Now we have something to describe yung electric field along any directions. Okay, so any type of any electric field along any direction ay pina-consider natin dito sa calculations na ito. Okay, but how do we, of course, medyo mahirap din na i-consider lahat ng directions na 'yon. So instead, at i-describe yung effect ng bawat electric field na 'yon in different directions dun sa state sa two-level system. Okay, so how do we sort of simplify yung description na 'yon? So ang gagawin natin is to take the average, okay, of this polarization. Average of this probability, rate of probability. Okay, and the way to do that is to average yung polarization, okay, over a specific direction. So, in other words, yung alpha na yan ay kukunin natin yung dot product, okay, with alpha. Kukunin natin yung dot product with a unit vector n hat. So yung unit vector na yan ay pwedeng I hat, j hat, or k hat. So if it's traveling along the z direction, okay, like yung example natin. Okay, so if it's traveling along the z direction, sandali ah. So ano yung dalawang possible na polarizations? Yung I hat tsaka polarizations are I hat and J hat. Okay, so yung N hat dot alpha na polarized, okay, ay equal sa 1/2, okay, times I hat dot alpha squared plus J hat dot alpha squared. Okay, and this we simply describe as, so yung I hat dot, tawag dito, that alpha is, project mo yung I hat dun sa alpha, so makukuha mo dyan yung x component ng alpha. Okay, and then dito naman yung y component ng alpha. Okay, which means na ito ay equal sa 1/2 alpha squared and then sine squared theta. Now, bakit merong sine squared theta na nag-appear dito? Remember, this is still in three directions. Okay? Even though yung propagation is along the z-axis. Okay? Ang ginagawa natin dito is we're taking the average. Okay? So, meron pa ring angle between yung actual na propagation at saka yung tawag dito, at saka yung z direction. Okay, so yan yung angle na yan, yung angle na alpha. So yung theta is the angle between alpha and the direction of propagation. Okay, hindi pa natin kinukuha yung average dito. To get the average, okay, the way to do this is to use cylindrical polar coordinates. Okay, kasi yung yung x and y components niya or yung radial component pare-pareho lang naman, pero yung z component niya yung alpha projected along the z component, yun yung gusto natin kunan ng average. So yun yung n hat dot alpha squared and then yung propagation direction. Okay, so along the cylindrical polar, okay, we have yung average, yung 1/2 alpha squared na na-derive natin earlier, and then yung expression for the cylindrical polar coordinates. Okay, so yan na yung average. So that's alpha squared over 4 integral from 0 to pi ng sine cube theta d theta. And then, so yan ay equal ngayon sa alpha squared over 3. Okay, any questions? Ay, sorry. Ay, haba ng 16 weeks talaga, no? Kahit na ang daming holiday. Ano? Wala na kayong tanong? Wala na kayong ma-absorb? yung absorption rate nyo ay mababa na at hindi na in resonance. Ano? Naging ano? Dissonant. Yung ba opposite ng ano? Resonance? Talaga? Dissonance? Dissonance? DISS? Okay. You learn something new every day. O baka alam ko na yun before pero nakalimutan ko lang. Tulad kayo, nakalimutan niyo yung lessons niyo last time. Talagang babalik at babalik dun, no? So, bakit natin ito ginagawa? Kasi nga ina-average natin lahat tawag dito, expression. Ina-average natin, kino-consider natin lahat ng directions. So, this expression, okay, is now reduced to, or this expression is for 1D, it's only along the Z direction. Pero pag kinonsider na natin yung 3D, so we have R, B to A, yung rate, yung transition rate is 3 epsilon naught H bar squared, alpha squared, rho, omega. And pag i-compare nyo itong expression na ito with this expression, it's entirely the same except for yung factor na 1/3. Okay. And if you've studied physics long enough, maybe feeling nyo it's already been too long enough, di ba? Mapapansin nyo na every time when you take the average, especially in 3 dimensions, parati lang kayo nagkakaroon ng factor na 1/3. Di ba? So maraming mga situations, sa maraming mga physical systems. Okay, so solid state physics, di ba? When you take the average, you get a factor of 1/3. And this is also what's happening sa transition rate. Okay. So, now itong field na ito, okay, of course medyo simplistic yung ating approach dito, no? Pero tawag dito, you can study this deeply or in a deeper tawag dito sense through a course called Quantum Electrodynamics. Okay? Kasi you're applying quantum physics, you're combining quantum physics with electromagnetism. Okay? So meron ganung field, QED. Pero hindi nyo na yan obviously pag-aaral sa undergrad. Okay? Kung mag-decide kayo na mag-continue, mag-pursue ng physics as a graduate, tawag dito, in a graduate program, ito yung sa mga mapag-aaralan. Especially kung photonics yung ano nyo. Kung photonics or theoretical physics. Yung pag-aaral. Otherwise, ito na yung huling encounter nyo with this shit. Okay? Okay, now, tignan natin, let's talk about spontaneous emission specifically. Okay? So, di ba, tatlo yung processes yung kinonsider natin last time: absorption, spontaneous emission, tsaka stimulated emission. Ngayon, ang titignan lang natin is spontaneous emission. Okay, so let's say, di ba, two-level system tayo. So, A and B. So, let's say na meron tayong atoms which have energy in this state at ganyan kadami yung atoms na yan, N sub A, and yung atoms na may energy sa upper state ay NB. Okay? So, and then let's say na yung A is called the spontaneous emission rate. Okay? Spontaneous emission rate for a single atom, which means na tawag dito, if you want to consider yung total number of particles na emit spontaneously, you simply multiply it by NB. Okay. So number of particles leaving the upper state by this process, by spontaneous emission. Naintindihan niyo kung bakit NB? Saan ba galing yung yung particles? Yes. Yes. So binibilang mo ngayon kung ilan yung bumababa. So kung ilan yung particles na nanggaling sa state B, kaya NB yung inaano niya. Okay? Now, for stimulated emission, yung transition rate ay tawag dito. Tawagin nating okay, so dito hindi niya sinabi yung transition rate, pero instead sinabi niya na yung transition rate is proportional to B. Okay, so yung transition rate for spontaneous emission, okay, is proportional to BA, okay, rho omega naught. Okay, so energy density. So that's the energy density. It's proportional to the energy density. Okay, so yung number of particles leaving the upper state through spontaneous emission is NBPA. So BPA rho omega naught. Okay, so number of particles leaving the upper state by spontaneous stimulated emission, sorry. Stimulated emission. Okay, so we have spontaneous emission, stimulated emission. Paano naman yung absorption? Okay, so the rate of absorption, okay, absorption rate is also proportional to AB rho omega naught. Okay, so yung number of particles absorbed ay NABAP rho omega naught. So all of these are transition rates. Okay? So which means na kung gusto nating malaman yung total number of particles na tawag dito umaalis from or nadadagdagan dun sa state B, okay, kailangan nating i-add yung contribution ng spontaneous emission, contribution ng stimulated emission, and yung contribution ng absorption. Okay. Okay na? Oh, 45 minutes na lang matatapos ng 182. Pati ako excited. Okay, let's say na everything is in equilibrium. Okay? So, may nag-absorb, and then merong spontaneously emitted, emitted by stimulation. Okay? Ibig sabihin, okay, yung rate, okay, yung total rate na yan is zero. So, in equilibrium, dNB dt is zero. Okay, so we can isolate yung rho omega naught, okay, and write A over NA over NB times BAB minus BBA. Ano kayo? May solid state physics kayo yun, di ba? Next sem pa ba? Ah, shit. Dapat pala diniscuss pa to ah. Okay, pero baka sa 103 diniscuss nyo rin to, pero malamang hindi. Sino ba kasing teacher nyo doon? Okay, in general, lahat ng mga tawag dito, lahat ng collection of particles ay pwede nyo i-describe using tawag dito, three statistical tawag dito, or two statistical two ways in terms of yung statistical distribution nila. Okay? First, yung Fermi-Dirac statistics. And then, second, yung Bose-Einstein. Pero yun ay napahapyawan natin sa quantum physics, diba? Okay, in terms of pag mga electrons, then you consider yung Fermi-Dirac statistics. Okay, pero pag halimbawa mga photons, then you have yung bosons, Bose-Einstein statistics. Pero in both cases, merong expression, okay, that involves exponential. Okay? So merong exponential na term, okay, ng E over KBT. Na-encounter niyo na ba yung term na yan? Kanina lang. O, di ba? Galing. Di kami nag-usap ni Anong tawag dyan? Boltzmann? Kita niyo naman coincidence yan. Ano daw ang Boltzmann factor? Sabihin kanina lang, tapos nakalimutan niyo na kaagad. Anong Boltzmann factor? Ano? Describes yung sige, tignan niyo yung notes niyo kanina. Ano ba yung 175? 165. Kasi ano nga pala siya, statistical physics. Yun naman pala eh. Oo. Anong Boltzmann factor? It describes yung distribution of the particles in terms of their energy in relation to in relation to yes, temperature. Temperature. Okay, yung KBT dyan, yan yung thermal tawag dito. Thermal energy. Okay, thermal energy. Now, significant yung equation na yan kasi tawag dito, when at 0 Kelvin, di ba? 0 Kelvin, ang picture natin sa room system, okay, ay hindi sila gumagalaw. Tama? Okay? Pero mag-apply ka lang ng konting temperature, yung ilan sa kanila ay ma-absorb yung temperature na yun at isa-isa silang mag-gain ng ng energy. Okay, and if you increase it further, then dumadami ngayon yung mga particles na merong energy corresponding dun sa tawag dito, dun sa temperature. At yung energy na yon is equal to kBT. Na kung saan yung KB, K sub B ay tinatawag na Boltzmann's constant. Okay. So, now, bakit natin pinag-uusapan yan? Kasi we want to relate the number of particles, okay, na present in a particular level, okay, and they can only be present there if they have energy. And where do they get their energy from? From the environment, okay, which is yung temperature. So yung factor na ito, okay, okay, yung Na over Nb, we can relate it to the Boltzmann factor. So yung Na, yung ratio ng Na over Nb ay pwede natin isulat as exponential negative E sub A, energy ng particle at state A, divided by kBT, then divided all over exponential negative E sub B over kBT. Or E H bar omega naught over kBT. Kung saan yung H bar omega naught ay equal sa EB minus EA. Ay, EA. Nakikita niyo ba? Okay na? Okay niyo na? Okay. So, i-replace natin yan ngayon. Yung expression na yan dun. Okay, and what do we get? Rho omega naught is equal to A all over exponential H bar omega naught over kBT BAB minus BBA. Pansinin nyo rin yung significance ng anong tawag dito ng expression na yan. Exponential H bar omega naught over kBT. Yung kBT is thermal energy, which is classical. And yung H bar omega naught is, tawag dito, energy described to a quantum mechanical na particle. Okay? So, parang mina-merge natin yung dalawang tawag dito, concepts, dalawang theories, classical physics tsaka sa modern physics sa equation na yun. Okay, familiar ba yung equation na yan? Siyempre, hindi. Okay, pwede ko sigurong isulat ito A over BA times 1 over exponential H bar omega naught kBT and then AB over BA minus 1. Excuse. Okay. Hindi pa rin familiar? Ha? Sige. Try. Nang alin? Hindi naman. Hindi. Naintindihan ko kung bakit mukha siyang Bose-Einstein distribution, pero hindi. Ah, okay. Ang Bose-Einstein distribution is EB pa rin, pero kasi dito H bar omega naught na siya over KBT. Okay. Ah, so actually, Planck's lock body formula, okay, is written as energy density over H bar pi squared C cube omega cube over E H bar omega KBT minus 1. And simply by comparing these two, okay, makikita natin na yung BAB ay equal sa BBA. So yung rate, remember na BAB is absorption rate or proportional sa absorption rate. And yung BBA is, tawag dito, describes yung stimulated emission, rate of stimulated emission, proportional sa rate of stimulated emission. Okay, so in other words, yung dalawang rates na yan ay equal sa isa't isa. Okay, furthermore, okay, kung compare nyo naman yung constants, yung coefficients, makikita nyo na yung A ay equal sa omega cube, okay, H bar over pi squared C cube, and then B, BA. Okay, so yung spontaneous emission rate ay proportional sa stimulated emission rate and meron ng constants na, na tawag dito na the of proportionality. Okay? So pare-pareho sila ng ng tawag dito. Pare-pareho sila ng rates. Okay? Yung emission, pag in-equilibrium, ganyan yung nangyayari. So pareho yung rates ng emission tsaka absorption, and then meron ka ring rate ng stimulated emission. Okay, now earlier may kinompute tayo na rate, okay, of transition. So ito ay R ng B to A, ito ay rate of transition ng spontaneous. Okay? Spontaneous emission. Okay? And actually, yun yung na-compute natin dito. Yung BBA na yan is exactly yung RBA. Okay? So which means na yung A, okay, ay pwede natin isulat as omega cube alpha squared over 3 pi epsilon naught H bar C cube. Okay, kasi yung BBA, pareho siya sa RBA, okay, ay equal sa pi over 3 H bar squared and then alpha squared. Okay, so synthesize natin. Ang tinitignan natin dito ay yung rates ng absorption, spontaneous emission, at stability emission. In equilibrium, yan yung relationship ng mga rates na yan. Yung VAB ay ang rate of absorption, proportional sa rate of absorption. Yung VBA ay proportional sa simulated as spontaneous rate of spontaneous emission. And yung A ay rate of stimulated emission. Or baliktad. Stimulated emission yata. Okay. They are related sa essence. And bakit ito significant? Kasi when we derive these equations, tinignan natin yung tawag dito, yung light, okay, na incident dun sa system, okay, na hindi polarized. Okay? Ang ginawa lang natin is in-average lang natin yung behavior na yun. Okay, and when we, even if we just take the average, okay, tawag dito, eventually we'll end up with these rates of absorption, rates of absorption at saka emission. Emission meaning stimulated at spontaneous. Okay, and this is what tawag dito, approximately what is happening sa isang two-level na system. In general, hindi yan ang nangyayari sa tunay na systems kasi even though two-level systems lang yung gusto mong i-include, di ba? Ang isang isang atom, marami naman siyang energy levels. Like the hydrogen atom, di ba? Marami siyang energy levels. And it can be okay, na yung atoms na yon o yung particles na yon ay tawag dito, in a higher energy state, like second excited, third excited, and so on and so forth. So pag nag-apply ka ng incident radiation, okay, magkakaroon ka ng rates between, sabihin natin B and A. Pwede ka rin magkaroon ng transitions between C and A. Iba naman din yung rates doon. Pwede ka magkaroon ng transitions between D and B, iba rin yung rates doon. So lahat yun ay kailangan nyo ngayong i-consider. Okay, and the way to do that is basically, i-add nyo lang lahat nung tawag dito nung transition rates na yon. Okay, so kung may transition rates ka between B and A, absorption for example, or spontaneous emission for example, between B and A, and then may spontaneous emission ka between C and A, okay, between C and B, kung ano man yung kanilang mga rates, i-add nyo lang yung mga rates na yan. Okay? To emphasize, as in, i-add nyo lang. Wow. Okay? So, gaano katagal magsistay yung electrons or yung particles dun sa isang state? Sinabi natin before, and alam din natin, di ba, na paulit-ulit siguro tinuturo sa inyo na pag nag-absorb ng energy yung particle, nandun sa energy level na yon, pero after some time, bababa din siya. Di ba? So, yun yung, ano tawag dito? Lifetime. Ang tawag doon sa time na yun is yung lifetime niya dun sa state na yon. Okay? Ano? Ben and Ben. Okay. Sige. So, to do that, tignan natin yung rate of absorption, d and dt. Oops. Okay. And equal ngayon yan sa rate of absorption times NB. Hindi na natin hindi absorption, spontaneous emission. Hindi na natin sinama dito yung stimulated emission at saka yung ang tawag dito? Absorption. Okay? Rate of stimulation. Ito ay spontaneous emission lang. Wala na yung dalawang terms. Okay, para lang mas simple. So madali lang isolve yung differential equation na ito. NBT is equal to NB at T equals 0 exponential minus A over T. And alam natin na pag meron tayong exponential na function of time, kung ano man nasa denominator ng time describes yung time constant. Right? In this particular case, yung time constant na yan is 1 over A, at ang tawag natin sa time constant na yan is yung lifetime, okay, of the state. Okay, lifetime ng particle dun sa state na yan. Okay, yun yung time, yun yung interpretation natin sa time constant. Okay, and since exponential to, okay, so after one time constant, after 1 tau, then ang matitira na lang is 1 over E or 0.368 of its initial value. Okay, so 40% na lang or 1/3 na lang ng particles yung natitira after one time constant. So yun yung lifetime ng particle dun sa. And this is just for one rate. Okay, and sinabi natin, pag gusto natin makita yung rates o yung total rates, di ba, i-add lang natin. And kung gusto natin ma-determine yung total, tawag dito, lifetime, ang gagawin lang natin is i-add lang natin lahat ng mga rates na yon and then kunin natin yung reciprocal para makuha yung total na lifetime ng particles at dun sa higher energy states. Okay lang. Express yourselves as yourself pala. Now, not all transitions are allowed. Okay? So meron tayong yun nga, selection rules. May batas, tama. How do we determine yung selection rules niya? Okay, so we can determine yung selection rules. Okay, so pag sinabing selection rules, ito yung mga allowed lang na transitions. Pangit ko talagang magsulat. Evaluation pa naman. Bakit sa evaluation, walang nagko-comment sa pagsusulat ko? Puro jokes ko. Pero malamang wala na ngayong magko-comment sa one nito ng mga jokes ko. Sawa na kayo. Baka handwriting ko na ang kukomentan. Okay. Siyempre, kukunin natin yung tawag dito, rules na to from yung rates, okay, yung rate of transitions. Kasi doon natin, yung rate of transition describes kung gaano siya katagal na sa isang state. Okay, and of course, it's proportional dito sa expectation value na ito. Okay? So, expectation value ng psi B, vector R, and then psi A. Now, even though we write B and A dito, of course, this can be generalized to other states like C to A, C to B, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, let's say, now each state, okay, ay pwede nating i-describe in terms of their quantum numbers. So, let's say na yung psi B, ang quantum numbers niya ay n prime, L prime, M prime. Okay? At yung psi A, ang quantum numbers na gagamitin natin to describe them is N, L, and M. Okay? To determine yung selection rules, babalikan natin yung orbital angular momentum. Okay? Particularly, yung commutation relations. Okay? Commutation ng angular momentum, Z component na orbital angular momentum with X, Y, and Z. So recall Okay, na LZ X is equal to IH bar Y, tapos LZ Y is equal to negative IH bar X, and then LZ of Z is equal to 0. Okay? Starting with yung LZ of Z. Okay, so i-apply natin yung kunin natin expectation value ng third na commutation relation. Okay, LZZ, and then NLM. Okay, alam natin na yan ay equal to 0, diba, dahil dito. Okay, so by definition, N prime, L prime, M prime, tapos LZ, Z minus Z, LZ, NLM. So N prime, L prime, M prime, LZZ, NLM minus N prime, L prime, M prime, Z, LZ, NLM. Okay, tignan muna natin yung second term. Itong operator na ito, Z component, okay, ng, anong tawag dito? Ng orbital angular momentum acts on which quantum number? Sa N ba, principal? Sa L? Or sa N? Dapat may music, may background music tayo. Tung, 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 tung. Sa N ba? Sa L? Tung, tung, tung. Sa M? Saan? Ano bang naalala niyong equation? Ha? Sa ano pa ata to eh? First or second exam? Wala na talaga. Yung kanina nga lang na Boltzmann factor, nakalimutan nyo. Yan, sige. Kaya mo yan. LZ operating on? Hindi yan. Akala ko, yun na yun. LZ operating on ket, di ba? LZ ket. Pero anong vector siya? Anong quantum number? Ha? Yan yung eigenvalue, di ba? Kasi, di ba, LZ on a vector ay equal sa, magbibigay ng eigenvalue na, yan, tinatanong ko ano yung vector na yan. Hindi rin alam na naglalaro sa baba. Hindi, mag-act lang siya sa quantum number. Isa sa mga quantum numbers yan, N, L, or M. Di ba? So, ito will only act on M. Di ba? And ang eigenvalue niyan is MH bar. Tama? Ket M. Ngayon, dito naman sa una, yung Z operating on this ket vector, alam nyo ba yan o hindi? Hindi, di ba? Right? O, umamin na kayo, hindi nyo alam. Pero itong LZ operating on this bra vector, alam nyo, anong eigenvalue niyan? Ba't pa kayo maghahanap ng equation? LZ on M prime. Anong eigenvalue niya? M prime H bar. Okay. Ganun lang kasimple. So, ito ngayon ay M prime H bar and M prime L prime M Z. Matitira yung Z, di ba? Kasi nag-operate na sa ano? Okay. N prime, L prime, M prime, then Z, tapos, sorry. MH, N prime, L prime, M prime, Z, N, L, M equal to 0. So, M prime minus M, H bar, N prime, L prime, M prime, Z, N, L, M. Okay, equal to 0. Okay, so anong possible conclusions dyan? Either M prime ay equal sa M or else. Parang may condition. N prime, L prime, M prime, Z, N, L, M ay equal to 0. Okay na? Okay na? Dito in-apply natin just sa third, na tawag dito, commutation relation. I-apply nga natin ngayon sa first and then sa second. Okay, so dun sa first, that's N prime, L prime, M prime, L, Z, X, N, L, M, okay, ay equal sa, ano yun, I, H bar, Y. So I, H bar, N prime, L prime, M prime, and then Y, N, L, M. Ito ay N prime, L prime, M prime, and then LX, LZ, X minus X, LZ, N, L, M equals I, H bar, N prime, L prime, M prime, Y, N, L, M. So yung first term, syempre operate natin yung LZ dun sa bra na vector. So this will give us M prime, H bar, and then yung second term i-operate natin dun sa ket na vector. Diba? For the same reasoning. M, H bar. Okay, so this will give us N prime, L prime, M prime, X, N, L, M equals I, H bar, N prime, L prime, M prime, Y, N, L. And then, syempre, magka-cancel yung H bar. So, M prime minus M and then H bar. So, magka-cancel yung, oops, nasa na yung pen? Cancel yung H bar. Okay. Tapos, i-operate naman natin sa Y. Okay, when we do that, okay, sa Y, negative IH bar X yan, ano? So, ang mangyayari dyan ay, diretso ko na isulat, M prime. So, yun yung isa. Ito yung pangalawa. M prime minus M, N prime, L prime, M prime, Y, N, L, M equals sa negative I, N prime, L prime, M prime, X, N, L, M. Okay na? Nakopy nyo na? Okay? Okay? Okay, ngayon. So, ang gagawin ko is, yung first term dyan, itong nasa taas, i-multiply ko ito by m prime minus m. Okay? Ano mangyayari? Ito magiging squared dito. Ay, shit. Ito magiging squared yung first term, di ba? Tama? Tapos doon sa right hand side, merong I, m prime minus m, and then in term na involving y, which is exactly itong nandito sa second term. Okay? So, ngayon, ang mangyayari doon ay m prime minus m, n prime, l prime, m prime, and then x, n, l, m, and then squared, kasi minultiply ko na nga siya ng m prime minus m. Okay, and then yung m prime minus m, and then, anong tawag dito? May negative I, no? So may negative I dyan. So negative I times I is 1. So pwede ko nang tanggalin yung 1 dyan. And then matitira is n prime, l prime, m prime, x, n, l, m. Okay? And the only way for this to happen, ay, bakit may m prime dyan? Wala na to. Wala na to dapat. Okay, the only way for that to happen is either m prime minus m squared ay equal sa 1 or yung expectation value ng x ay equal to 0. So, actually, meron tayong earlier na condition na m prime minus m ay equal to 0. Now, if we say na delta m is m prime minus m, this will give us yung condition na plus or minus 1 at saka 0. So, yan ang allowed na transitions between yung tawag dito, quantum numbers, between yung mga quantum numbers na yan. Pwede ka lang magkaroon ng transition between m's, okay, or no transition at all. Okay na? Okay. May isa na lang selection rule pero baka kulangin tayo sa oras. Or okay lang ba sa inyong mag-extend kahit mga 5 minutes? Okay lang. Para matapos na. Tapos exercise na lang tayo sa ano. Anyway, late naman tayo nag-start din kanina. Di ba? Okay, so para tapos na. Or, syempre, ang easiest ay, kakarimpot na lang naman to, isang page na lang, oh. Sabihin ko na lang yung second na selection rule. Bahala na kayo sa buhay nyo. Or, to be more professional sounding, pag-aralan nyo na lang. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, so, Yan, yung so ito ay transitions, allow transitions between yung mga quantum numbers na ito. Tapos, isang picture na lang ipapakita ko sa inyo. Oh, sandali lang. May isa pa ako ipapakita. Sabi ko, may isang picture pa ako ipapakita. Hindi yan, hindi yan. Dali lang. Yan. Hindi ako nadadaan sa bola. Okay. So, base selection rules, okay, yan lang yung mga possible na allowed na. Yan lang yung mga allowed na transitions. Okay? Of course, pwede kang mag-transition from, di ba, n equals 4 to n equals 3. Okay, from L equals 3 to L equals 2. Siyempre, magtuturo na ako dito. No? Naka-capture ba ito sa ano? So, hindi ito naka-share. I-share ko lang dito para makuha pa rin sa yan. Okay. Yung storbo naman yung natin na lang siya nandyan. Okay. Yan. So, meron transition between kung gusto nyo transition between n equals 4 at n equals 3, ang pwede lang mangyari is transition between n equals 3 to n equals 2. Okay? Yun yung delta n equals minus 1. Okay? Pwede rin pakyat. Okay? Yun yung delta n equals plus 1. Okay? Pero, pwede rin transition from n equals 4 to n equals 2, pero the only way that could happen is from n equals 2 to n equals 1. Okay, it's still delta L equal to minus 1. Okay, so magmula kayo transition from L equals 2 to L equals 0. Tama? Instead, meron kayong transition from L equals 2 to L equals 1, and then another transition from L equals 1 to L equals 0. Okay, so yun lang yung pwede mangyari. So one type of transition at a time. So dyan yung ina-apply yung mga selection rules. Yes. Bawal yung shortcut. Okay. Okay. That's it. Congratulations sa pagtapos ng 182 semi may exam pa. Yes. And tawag dito next meeting